Today on Running to Him.
In the battle against evil, being good is not enough. We must combine it with courage. Dennis Prager. Today's reading is Exodus 1, concentrating on verses 17 through 19. Exodus 1, 17 through 19 says, "But the midwives feared God, and did not do as the king of Egypt had commanded them, but let the boys live. So the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said to them, 'Why have you done this thing? And let the boys live.' The midwives said to Pharaoh, 'Because the Hebrew women are not as Egyptian women, for they are vigorous and give birth before the midwife can get to them.'" Now, what is the difference between being good and being good combined with courage? The answer is that many people are reasonably good and honest, but when faced with a moral decision, it takes courage to overcome evil. The Egyptians went through many things since Joseph's death. 400 years passed and several ruling dynasties. The Jewish people were successful, and the Egyptian rulers were worried that the Jews might be more powerful and powerful enough to overthrow them if they ever wanted to do so. This way of thinking isn't restricted to ancient times. In our political environment in the United States, most politicians can only think of two things: how can I enrich myself, and how can I remain in power? It is for this reason that some money may be designated for useless projects, so that the politician can give a little money to his or her constituency, and they will continue to vote for them. There is a famous road in West Virginia which begins outside of a populated area, and is designed to end 100 miles later, again outside a populated area. It starts in nowhere, ends in nowhere 100 miles later. The total cost of this project is growing, and it's now over $120 billion, that's with a B, dollars. To add insult to injury, it is projected to take 66 years to complete. The midwives were instructed to kill all baby boys so that the population would decrease over time. They failed to carry out the orders. When confronted by Pharaoh, they told him that the Hebrew women were strong and the babies were born before their arrival. These midwives were courageous and good. A question might arise: how can a person be praised for lying? Isn't lying a sin? Well, the midwives didn't lie. Because of the living conditions strengthened the Hebrew women, they were strong. And if the midwives were slow in their arrival, the babies would already be born. The midwives did not lie. So how did the midwives conjure up enough courage to defy the Pharaoh? The midwives feared God. The midwives knew that the taking of a life was wrong, and they knew that God would protect them for acting righteously. When we do what is right, God will protect us. And that brings us to today. We as believers are faced with a world in which we will need to practice honesty mixed with courage. As the world around us seems to deteriorate, we as believers have to stand up and protect the truth. The time has arrived when we no longer live in a world which is controlled by biblical truth. Now, I'm not saying that we used to live in a Christian world, but we used to follow biblical principles even if they were disassociated from the Bible. That's no longer true. We are now being told that it is a loving thing to kill an unborn child. We are being told that the way to prosperity is to go into debt. And we are being told that it doesn't matter on what we believe or what we do, God is going to let us into heaven. We need to have courage to face today's world.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.